This magnitude 8.8 megathrust earthquake in Kamchatka has triggered something big, guys, and it's getting bigger. It's not stopping. The aftershocks keep coming. We just had another 5.1, 4 point something. I'll show you the list, but that's not it. First, they said this megathrust earthquake has triggered a chain reaction of volcanoes erupting. I've reported about this. But now we've heard about Krasheninnikov, the volcano that has erupted for the first time in 600 years, that was considered dormant. That is showing increased activity. But now the headline is sleeping giants may awaken after the Krasheninnikov eruption. So what is going on? This is crazy, guys. So after the strongest earthquake on Russia's coast since 1952, a parade of volcanic eruptions happened, has provided enough energy for 6 volcanoes adjacent to the Ring of Fire to spout off, and another one could be imminent, and another 4 could be imminent. So this is really, really massive. When that July 30th 8.8 magnitude earthquake near the Kamchatka Peninsula has triggered a series of volcanic activity in Russia, everyone thought, yeah, is that it? But now the aftershocks keep coming and the volcanoes keep coming. Officials have already reported the rare event of 6 volcanoes erupting since the earthquake. Of course, it's along the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire was active before the quake, but they say it has become now increasingly spirited, so to say, guys, since then. And we know what that means. So this is one of the largest earthquakes recorded in modern day history, and it seemingly has set off a cluster of problems with the aftershocks, but also with the cluster of volcanoes in Russia. So 6 separate volcanoes near the Kamchatka Peninsula are already erupting since late July, and we have a 7th and an 8th and a 9th and a 10th might join the party. A member of the Russian Academy of Sciences and the director of the Institute of Volcanology and Seismology has said that this megathrust earthquake that happened may have been enough to spur the activity of these volcanoes and cause this chain reaction. And he says, he makes it clear, we attribute the eruptions to the which are activated, the earthquakes, of course, the main shock and all these aftershocks have activated the magmatic forces in Kamchatka and have provided them with additional energy. This is the first time in roughly 300 years that this many volcanoes have set off at the same time in such tight proximity. And they're adding that this event is extremely, extremely rare, a rare phenomenon that can just be described as a parade of volcanic eruptions. And that's why we have to go back to Kamchatka and talk about this, guys. We know the Krasheninnikov volcano that is now one of 8 active volcanoes of the Kotnotsky Reserve. It's roughly 150 miles from the earthquake's epicenter. Hadn't shown any lava flow since 1463, and we have just new video footage of today how it's erupting right now, and we'll talk about this because it's not erupting in only one spot. It is showing a significant increase in the temperature also on the Earth's surface in the area, and we know what that means. Something hot is coming closer to the surface. And you see it on this picture here, a small downpour of lava at Krasheninnikov is also forming on the south side here. And it's filling that cone there, that crater cone, with lava. Right now, from the new pictures, there are at least 4 erupting mouths active within the northern crater of Krasheninnikov. And some are producing quite the activity, as you can see in this video when they were flying over the volcano. Explosive activity is going on there. And the lava that has been emitted just in the last few days has basically, if you see that, completely filled the bottom of the crater and exceeding its edges and pouring onto the north and the east sides of the volcano. And the two lava flows that are currently active that we see also later on, we will look at Sentinel pictures where we see them as well. So impressive pictures, but the pressure seems to be building up. Then we had Klyuchevskoy, has been one of the most prolific since the earthquake. The Kamchatka volcanic eruption team has held the orange code alert for this volcano. It has ash exploding over 4 miles high and has a plume now extending 133 miles to the southeast while the lava and the ash continue to move. And the scientists are warning, with the explosions that are going up to 32,800 feet, they could occur at any time. Again, ongoing activity could, of course, affect international low-flying aircraft. How scientists are explaining it, especially what we're seeing at Krasheninnikov, extreme shaking. Seismic waves are passing through the earth. They're affecting underground systems like magma that is already in the cracks in the rocks inside a volcano. And if these cracks are moved and shifted, magma can rise to the surface. I have just released a video, guys, you have to watch it in the end screen, about Kamchatka, a cavity, a space like a crack directly over the magma chamber that could be the fuse, and it takes only a little bit more rattling maybe to make this thing blow. Watch the video in the end screen. So this earthquake has added up to an increased force. They're shaking loose the systems of these volcanoes, and then it actually allows them to erupt. The earthquake, as it seems, has changed the stress in the Earth's crust. So it makes it easier for magma to rise, and shaking the magma, how it has happened, can alter its movement. And so what could happen right now at the Kamchatka Peninsula, and the aftershocks are ongoing, that a lot of magma movement, guys, is getting altered right now. And I said it at the beginning, sleeping giants may awaken after the Krasheninnikov eruption. So not after the earthquake, after the Krasheninnikov eruption. 4 other volcanoes that are located on the Kamchatka Peninsula, which, by the way, I've made a video about this. If you haven't seen it, it's in the end screen. You should subscribe, guys, and check my videos, recent videos on my start page. The whole Kamchatka Peninsula has shifted 7 feet, over 2 meters since the earthquake. A scientist described it, well, we all were moved significantly. This is how extreme it was in the 2011 Japan earthquake. So Krasheninnikov, increased activity. Krasheninnikov eruption came only 4 days after the Klyuchevskoy eruption, one of Eurasia's tallest and most active volcanoes, has exploded only a few hours after the massive Megathrust earthquake. Scientists say all these events are interconnected, but they're still studying the direct causal link. So they need more proof for that. So when Krasheninnikov erupted on August 2nd, now the scientists from the Russian Academy of Sciences, they say 4 volcanoes that are considered active currently, Avachinsky, Bezymyany, Kambalny, and Kauminsky, may trigger another parade of eruptions. They're saying, quote, According to our data, the last time such widespread volcanic activity occurred in Kamchatka was in 1737 after a magnitude 9 megathrust earthquake. So scientists overall are now theorizing that the Megathrust earthquake has awakened Kamchatka, the Kamchatka Peninsula, and all its sleeping giants. Kamchatka, the peninsula, has 29 active volcanoes, over 160 volcanoes. The head of the volcanology station in the village of Klyuchevskoy has made a statement. He said he had not seen such widespread volcanic activity in his 5 decades of work on the Kamchatka Peninsula. And now, if we look at the latest picture on the Krasheninnikov volcano, now we can really see it, that both on the summit and central eruptions have begun simultaneously, which may indicate intense internal seismic processes. And the scientists also says the Kamchatka volcano, I last worked on it in 1979. So while it has been quiet for decades, it should not be considered extinct. So it seems that the powerful tectonic shifts from the initial earthquake might have destabilized the volcanoes on the peninsula, triggering these eruptions and subsequent seismic events. This is a unique opportunity for these scientists to study the complex relationship between major earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, because the volcanoes didn't cause the earthquake, right? We know before a volcano erupts, it creates earthquakes, but this was not the volcanoes. We have new sentinel pictures of Krasheninnikov. It has an elevated eruption that still continues. We see 2 lava flows on this picture, so the volcano definitely remains active. The increased effusive eruption continues from the summit's northern cone, but with 2 lava flows that have been identified in the latest Sentinel-2 thermal imagery just today. We also have a lava arm on the northeastern slope that is currently roughly 2.7 miles long. And then more on the eastern side, the lava flow extends as far east, roughly a mile. So with these aftershocks continuing, it'll be very interesting what the volcanoes are doing, guys. This is still an active area. Very, very interesting for all of us volcano freaks. But as I said, you should check out these 2 videos in the end screen. I know you can click only on one. That's why you should subscribe and then go to my channel start page, click on videos, click on recent, and there you see them all. But start with one, whichever you choose, guys. If you want to support the channel, look underneath the video. There are links in the description. You can fill me up with coffee on my buymeacoffee.com/silky site, and click the join button to become a supporting member of this channel for behind the scene videos, guys. And if you want to send me a super here, greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for doing this, for making this channel possible, guys. You're awesome. Welcome to everyone that's new here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Just click here. Bye-bye.